Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be doing reaction today to the Alan Wake trailers. I found two that seem to be the latest ones that came up. There was one from 4 months ago and one from a month ago. I don't actually know if they're different or if they're the same trailer. They've just been uploaded in different places. So we'll see. They might be the same, in which case there'll be one trailer. Unless I have a look for something else. So it's just to get a bit of an idea of what's coming. I've now finished playing through Alan Wake and the DLC for Alan Wake, and then the DLC for Control, which was related to Alan Wake. So there is lots to sort of tie off potentially in Alan Wake 2. If they conclude it, they might do more, who knows. So time-wise, I think timeline, the first game was in 2010, and then Control obviously happened in 2019. So the DLC, AW DLC in theory is 2019. We know that Alice came to the Bureau in 2017, and then at the end of the AW DLC, it was implied that there was going to be an altered world event in Bright Falls in a couple of years' time. So I don't know if the game's going to be set actually in like 2021, 2022, or if it's going to be set in 2023, present day, to where we're actually getting the game. And it's just going to be a little bit more of an extended future event than they implied in the DLC. Because if it's 2023, then Alan's been stuck in the dark place for 13 years. So I have a feeling he's going to be a little bit screwy, particularly based on how we saw him in AWE. Because he seemed like he was struggling a bit there. So, without further ado, let's watch and see what happens and see what happens. I don't have anything else to say yet. Wing.
I'm trapped here in this nightmare. I write to escape. Every word is a step forward. Into darkness.
I'm glad you're on this case with me, Anderson.
Casey!
It's right up your alley.
The victim was one of their own. FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale.
So you knew
Nightingale,
Albert.
okay.
Only the rumors. He was chasing a writer.
Someone knew they were here.
This is exciting.
Was playing a game with them.
Killer left a message.
It's for us. The text is about us.
We were all trapped in a horror story. The horror story wanted us dead.
Oh my days. So we're playing this lady, are we? Oh, look how creepy that is. Look!
There's something I'm forgetting.
Oh no!
Something important. Something's not right!
Easy now.
Oh. No.
First things first. What's your name?
Oh my goodness. October 17th? I thought it was on the 20th. No, 27th. 27th. Wait, I've got to check. Dates. Whoa, stop. Dates. I'm sure it's the 27th. 27th. Not 17th. I was gonna say that would be like ridiculous. Wow, that's exciting. I am like, that looks terrifying. Also, I'm in big trouble. I'm in very big trouble. I think this is going to be a heart monitor game for me. I think I'm going to have to wear that because that looks absolutely freaking terrifying, and I'm gonna, oh man, I'm gonna panic. I'm gonna panic so bad. That looks amazing though. That, like, the environments of where she went in that building and it was proper run down, like, that looks so good in a bad way for me. So Casey's going to be in it. Agent Casey, that's exciting because I didn't think he was going to be in it. They mentioned him in the AW DLC that he was looking for Alan. So the fact they brought him actually into Alan Wake 2 is really cool because I was wondering if we'd actually hear any more about him. So that's very exciting. I don't know who that lady is because the agent they'd mentioned before was Estevez, but I think they said her name is something else, didn't they? Let me just check. Okay. So Katie calls her Anderson if he's talking to her. The subtitles came up saying Saga. So I don't know if that's like Special Agent something Anderson, maybe. Her name could be like Gina. I don't know. So she's not Estevez, who we heard about in Control. Did we hear about Anderson? Try to think now. The thing is, Anderson's such a common name in things that it comes up all the time. So it's like there's so many Andersons in my brain probably rattling around in there. But yeah, so they come to investigate Nightingale / Alan Wake. So that's pretty cool. There looks like some sort of cult type people going on at the beginning because they were like gonna sacrifice someone. The Taken look incredible with how like shadowy things were, and there was like somebody with extra arms and stuff, and that's gonna be creepy. Okay, so I'm very excited just from that. That looks like it's gonna be a nightmare. I mean, if we're playing somebody other than Alan Wake, in theory, they can change the combat a bit more. Because, you know, agents should have better like stamina and stuff than a writer. So be interesting to see what they do on the combat front, because obviously that was one of the things that people were a bit that people criticized a bit more from the first game, and obviously it's been a long time since then, so it'll be interesting to see how they change that. But let's have a look at the second trailer, see if it has anything else for us in it.
In a horror story, there are only victims and monsters. And the trick is not to end up as either. But trapped by the genre, we're all ripped to pieces along the way.
No! Welcome! We have a great show for you here tonight. Alan Wake, one of my all-time favorite writers, and guests on the show. He's here to talk about his latest book. Initiation tells the story of a fictional writer named Alan Wake, who is trapped in a nightmare, desperately trying to find the manuscript of a novel he has forgotten he has written.
Did you write these pages, Mr. Wake?
I'm trying to remember it.
You're the killer, the cult leader.
No! You've got the wrong band! It's my fault! It got out!
Wake has a double.
It got out.
Where is he now?
I don't want to be in the story, just write me out of the story.
Oh my word. Okay, 27th of October. Woo. That looks, honestly, I'm so excited. That looks really cool. So that answered a bit of the gameplay a little bit, because you saw a bit more, I think, of the fighting in that one, I think. So similar aspects of having flares and that sort of stuff to get rid of things. You can definitely see some elements of like Control in there, where there was there looked like a flash of sort of an overlaid image of like a cutscene almost, sort of thing, where like a bit like the hotline basically came up, that sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see what they've actually blended from having done something like Control to this. So from that, it does look like Alan comes out of the dark place, and from the other one, because you did see him where she was like, "Who are you?" But is potentially having some memory problems because of how screwed up he's gotten from being in there. And he's obviously writing about Casey and Anderson, so it'll be interesting to see. I wonder if you'll get I'm assuming you'll play as her, but I wonder if you'll get to play as Alan as well, because it did look like you did in that bit. So will you switch between them, or is it going to be kind of a you play as like Anderson first, and then when you find Alan then you switch to him? Or will it be just, you know, I say you're switching between, so you might play as Alan a bit in the dark place and then outside, and then play as him when he comes out of it? Don't know, but it's exciting. Not long to go now, a couple of weeks, and we'll have some answers. But that actually looks so cool and terrifying. I'm a bit worried. I'm very worried. Not gonna lie, I'm very worried. I think I'm in trouble, but I think it's gonna be worth it because that looked really cool. I wonder what will happen with Casey. See, that's the thing with Casey because Alan's written books about him up until his death in the books. So has he sort of sliced what's going to happen here in between those books? Or is this like a part of his books that's going to kind of like, because he's never written about Bright Falls before he came there, I don't think. So is this kind of like he's sort of retrospectively added in a Casey's story in order to do stuff about him? Will Casey have read his books about himself and have anything in there that's actually real, or has that only happened since he's come to the Bright Falls properly? But then yeah, see, Zane wrote about Alan and like when he was a kid. So the fact that Casey exists and Alan's written about him makes me think that his books are probably going to be kind of real, but then obviously he's still alive, so it can't be kind of like entirely real unless he has written Casey as a fake death and now he's back alive again. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see though, whether we get more about Casey and how much of the books are actually real. We'll see, but I'm very much looking forward to this now. it looks good. I'm very intrigued. I'm also terrified. I think this is going to be probably worse for my heart than The Last of Us was, and that got me in some points quite badly. It looks like it could be really creepy. They've definitely like super ratcheted up the spook factor in this one. I think people were like, oh, Alan Wake's kind of horror aligned. This one I think is gonna be a bit more horror central. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this here. So I am very hyped. We have not got long to wait, and I'm looking forward to it. So I will see you guys when we get around to playing Alan Wake 2, and let me know what you think of the trailers and what you're looking forward to or what you want to see in the game.